by every metric, men have it worse off. We're more likely to get raped if you include prison. We're more likely to be assaulted. We're more likely to die. We're more likely to commit suicide.
And
so
you're not
if you want to come over to our side of it, then get ready for some rough times.
I will dispute the rape part, but I will say this. Industrial accidents, true. People who build bridges generally are men, and they often fall off them. I get that. You know, that happens. In war, that happens. So I guess, total equality means there'll be more industrial accidents. More casualties.
Right, because you're not as smart or as good looking as women as a whole.
Yeah.
We are smarter and dumber than women.
Yes, that's true.
The curve is much wider. We have a wide variety. You guys are more sort of like a little bit dumb, a little bit smart. We're total morons and geniuses.
Seriously, press charges.
No.
Press
Let him go.
Yeah. Press charges.
Can you call 911, please? She's getting wild.
Call 911. Oh, yeah.
Let him go.
Call 911. Call 911.
Let go of his shirt and go home.
Oh. Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's 901 South Miami. She attacked me. She physically. She's getting mad.
I'm a 5-foot girl.
Yes.
That weighs 100 pounds. I'm getting really, belligerent right now.
Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
Many of you chiming in right away online. Violetta writing, "This person should not be practicing medicine." Another saying, "I wouldn't go anywhere near the facility for medical care if she continues to work there." And another saying, "She should be arrested and charged with assault." But the driver, speaking to local station WTVJ, is not pressing charges.
She was erratic. She was screaming, cursing, calling me names.
Ram Kassoon now on administrative leave from the hospital while it conducts an internal investigation, and Uber has suspended her.
I'm saying women aren't special. I'm saying we're equal.
No.
We're not equal? No. Really? Then how did you end on the losing stick? How did you guys...
We don't eat our children.
You know, okay, but I'm not saying you're like you dogs. I'm just saying as humans, we're all the same.
Conversation later.
Wait, you think you're better than men?
No. I think we're equal.
That's what the fuck did I just say? You are the worst representatives of your race, of your species, of your sex, gender. There you go. I'm saying the same fucking thing you're saying.
But men get paid more than women.
Because we have penises.
30%.
Yes, we have 30% more penis than you do. You have a little clit, I get like 30% more. Okay, that's how it works. I don't know if you understand jobs, but they pay you by the inch, by the penis, by the shaft.
I hope you got measured.
Pardon?
I hope you got measured.
I did get measured. I lost this leg in a war, lady. This is fucking dick right down here. This is I get paid tons. That's why I'm here at the Cork Town on Wednesday.
The Create Gamergate, where men think it is legitimate to threaten women with violence if they don't shut up. Other people deserve that platform. Other people who are not white.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, you said at the beginning that you didn't read our columns, and it's absolutely evident from what you've said this evening that you don't.
Okay.
Catch it, bitch!
Obviously, I did my research before the break. That's just moronic to say that I didn't. Check it yourself. You should remember what you write, especially when it's that offensive.
Is it not true that to have a different opinion isn't the same as telling other people that they shouldn't have or they can't have an opinion?
Absolutely not! No! Peter and Brendan stood up here and complained that us students, people like Tim and me, are engaged in a discourse of censorship, that we want to silence them. Fundamentally, the purpose of free speech is an instrumental good. We have the audacity to try and erode the platform that our racist and misogynistic society has given to two privileged white men.
Alors bonjour à toutes et à tous. Donc tout d'abord, je tiens à remercier Fabien Varlet pour m'avoir choisi pour ce défi. Donc si je vais sauter aujourd'hui, c'est pour prouver à tous les hommes qui n'ont pas choisi de filles ou de femmes pour ce défi que les femmes aussi ont assez de courage pour sauter dans l'eau et ont assez de cran. Voilà. Bon, quand je parle de sauter dans l'eau, c'est pas un petit orteil, hein, mesdames, c'est sauter entière dans l'eau comme des hommes. Voilà, j'en profite aussi pour faire passer un message. Si je saute aujourd'hui, c'est aussi pour lutter contre les inégalités hommes-femmes qui persistent dans notre société actuelle. Donc à mon tour, je dois choisir 3 personnes qui vont devoir sauter dans l'eau, sinon elles vont devoir me payer le restaurant. Donc forcément, ces 3 personnes seront des femmes, comme je suis là pour défendre les femmes. Donc ces 3 personnes seront Élise Bove, Elodie Darras et Julia Minet. Voilà, donc je n'ai qu'une chose à vous dire.
Let's take a look, though, at a tweet which Colbert Report has tweeted out. It says, for the record,
Wait, hold
Colbert
on.
Report
Excuse
is
me.
not
As a white man, you don't...
Hang on, Zoe. I'll come to you in just a sec. For the record, Colbert Report is not controlled by Stephen Colbert or his show. He is at Stephen at Home. Sorry for the confusion. Colbert himself has responded to some of the criticism on Twitter. Hashtag cancel Colbert. I agree. Just saw at Colbert Report tweet. I share your rage. Who is that, though? I'm Stephen at Home. Sui, you were just going to jump in.
Yeah, I was going to say that I feel like it's incredibly patronizing for you to paint these questions this way, especially as a white man. I don't expect you to be able to understand what people of color are actually saying with regards to cancel Colbert. He has a history of making jokes.
Sorry, being a white man doesn't prevent me from being able to think and doesn't prevent me from being able to have reasoned perspectives on things.
Gotcha, bitch!
I didn't give up my right to be able to have an intellectual conversation when I was born.
I know, but well, white men definitely feel like they're entitled to talk over me. They definitely feel like they're entitled to kind of minimalize my experiences, and they definitely feel like they are somehow exempt and so logical compared to women who are painted as emotional, right?
No one's minimalizing your experiences. No one's minimalizing your right to have an opinion. It's just a stupid opinion. I mean, it's a misunderstanding of what
you
satire
just called
is.
my opinion stupid. You just called my opinion stupid.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
That's incredibly unproductive, and I don't think I'm going to enact the labor of having to explain to you why that's incredibly offensive and patronizing.
Explain.
I just told you I wouldn't enact that labor.
Okay, thanks for being with us, Sui. Jason, what do you make of this?
I don't know. I just was informed by the young woman that I actually don't have the right or the occasion to say anything on this matter, so I suppose I will decline.
True.
Out of respect for her.
Good point. As a white man, you're not allowed to have any beliefs.
What's up?
I was fucking breaking camera, dog. I was fucking breaking shit.
Oh!
I was breaking shit, dog. Keep it up. I was breaking.
Women become unhappy as they get older. Well, the flip side, men get happier as life goes on. Now, the researchers, a couple of economists, by the way, they say it happens when we each turn 48. And of the major factors coming down, it's all about money. Now, what's that all about? We're going to debate it. Mark Rudolph is a no-nonsense man, and Tracy Burns, our Fox Business reporter, joins me to tell us what's really going on. Tracy, is this true?
Come on.
I mean, come on.
All right, first of all.
Don't get me started.
I know you've missed me, Mark. First of all, this study was conducted by mostly men. And when men conduct anything, they talk about their finances because men judge themselves by the size of their wallet. Toys, dare I say. So, you put all your toys together in a parking lot and it makes you happy. If they were to ask other questions in this study about spirituality, about the other aspects of our lives, that women would have taken over. I mean, first of all, a woman hits her sexual prime at 35. Things get much better for us.
Hey, I'm 35. This is good for me. All right, Mark, all right, go nuts, because I know you're going to go nuts.
Well, first of all, you're presuming that unhappiness in women begins in middle age. I'd say it starts when she's a little girl, when she's taught that happiness derives from shoes, jewelry, boob jobs, and pedestals. And what's interesting, oh, come on, Alexis, and then you have boys who are taught that they're supposed to make girls happy. I was on the radio 2 weeks ago in Greensboro, North Carolina, and the host related a story. He overheard his son and daughter talking. So brother goes to sister and says, "How come you always have money and I don't?" And she says, that's simple. I have a boyfriend and you have a girlfriend. The fact of the matter is, boys are taught that they're supposed to make women happy.
No, he's actually living in the dark ages.
There's that.
I'm not living in the dark ages. This is reality. And if either of you women has ever dated women, you would know what I'm talking about. You pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, Mark,
so what's happening in middle age? What's happening in middle age here is that women who bring 70% of divorces are divorcing the men that they never wanted to marry to begin with, and so now that's what's making the men happy.
That's interesting because we control the household spending, don't we? Because we're working more than ever. All right, let's get back to the survey, though, all right? Because basically what they're saying is that we are happier in our early adult life and that women are more likely than men to fulfill their aspirations earlier related to material goods and family. That is true, wouldn't you say, Tracy? And a good thing. It takes men longer to figure out what they want to do in life.
Well, I just think this whole notion of basing your happiness on material goods is part of the problem, hence part of the reason that this thing was run by men in the first place. If there were women on the panel,
Tracy.
If there were women on the panel, they would, I mean, ask any woman if she would choose her car over her children, and she'd take the kids any day, whereas I would question a lot of men out there, quite frankly.
Tracy, I can't believe what I just heard you say.
There's a reason that women live longer, Mark. Let me tell you. It is because we are stronger and we are happier at the end of the day than most men, and that is factual, and you know it.
When men are married to women who scream like you, they just want to die sooner.
Hi, sir, I'm just wondering what your sign means.
It means that, you know, consent is the ultimate thing, you know, with regards to sex. If there isn't consent, then...
It says your kink is your consent.
In honesty, I didn't make the sign.
By sort of setting an idea that this will be a safe space for this conversation, it signals to those who might not have those experiences, hey, this is an area where I maybe need to take a second look to be a good ally, to be a good peer. We have to wait for someone who has experienced sexual violence to come forward and ask for a content warning when we know that 1 in 4 women in college will go through this. When we refuse to affirmatively do these things, to affirmatively make our classrooms safer for people, we're pretending that people from marginalized communities are invisible and that they're not there. And I think that that's a problem.
Okay. Yes, John.
I'd be happy to. So I think it's helpful to take the accommodationist perspective, and we certainly all want people to feel that the classroom is open to them. We don't want people coming to the classroom and being afraid. But first, I would question, is there any evidence or reason to think that giving content warnings or trigger warnings actually will do this? As a psychologist, I've been looking into this, and the more you label things as potentially threatening, the more they develop a certain power to actually threaten. So think about it this way. I teach classes in the business school here. Suppose I took my students on field trips all over New York. But every time we went to the Bronx, I said, now, today, we're going to the Bronx. Just want to let you know, we'll have an ambulance with us, we'll have police protection, but don't worry about it, we're going to the Bronx. And I only do that for the Bronx. What are people going to conclude about the Bronx? Now, if there was evidence that these warnings actually helped people get over PTSD, then we'd have to balance various things. But there isn't, and the therapists that I talked to, the people who study PTSD, were unanimous in saying that if someone has PTSD, the last thing you want to do is shield them from small reminders. In fact, the only way to get over the Pavlovianly conditioned fear is to let them be exposed to small things, and then nothing bad happens to them, and that's how the fear subsides.
Okay, who's this directed to?
The gentleman in the glasses that hates women. I want to know if he ever had a date.
Hold on.
If he's ever been with anybody.
I don't hate women. Now, I'm sure you have multiple blouses and multiple pairs of pants at home, but you chose these because they were your favorite. They were better than the others. That doesn't mean you hate the ones you didn't wear. I don't hate women. Men
what does that have to do with having a date?
Men are better than women. Yes.
That's not answer my question. And take those stupid glasses off.
I'm sure Dr. Phil can back me up on that.
And show us how you look.
Women line up to date guys like me, and you've had them all on your show.
I don't see any women lined up at all. I don't see any women lined up to you, and I would definitely be at the end of that line.
Well, if you hit the treadmill a little more, you'd be at the front.
Gotcha, bitch.
Smiling, and I can see you laughing, but to her this is not funny. I went in there with other humans, and I took her out of there, and if I hadn't, she wouldn't be with me right now. She would be gone, just like all of her sisters, just like everybody who we left behind. And I'm here to tell you today that all of those other girls and everyone who we left behind, they just wanted to live too, and they deserve their lives. And right now, their eggs and their milk and their bodies are on plates inside this restaurant, and that is so unfair to them. My little girl's name is Snow, and every time you see someone eating somebody else's eggs or somebody else's body, you are going to remember her name. Her name is Snow. She's a beautiful little girl, and she just wants to live. This isn't food. It's violence.
All of our best debates are always about policy, and it should be about policy that affects women specifically. The Romney campaign wants to talk about women and the economy. The women in this country still make 77 cents on the dollar for what men make. So if women don't make less than men?
Actually, if you start looking at the numbers, Rachel, there are lots of reasons for that.
Wait. Well, don't tell me the reasons are. Do women make less than men for doing the same work? Don't tell me the reasons are. Do women make less than men for doing the same work?
No, because
wow.
Well,
okay.
Well, for example, men work an average of 44 hours a week. Women work 41 hours a week. Men go into professions like engineering, science, and math that earn more. Women want more flexible
professions. Listen, this is not a math is hard.
No. Yes, it is. Actually.
No, it isn't.
Well,
no, listen.
All right, let Rachel frame it though the way she
right now,
laid it out.
women are making 77 cents on the dollar for what men are making.
But that's not true. If so,
let Rachel make her point.
Every greedy businessman in America would hire only women, save 25%, and be hugely profitable.
I feel like this is actually, I mean, it's weird that you're interrupting me and not letting me make my point, because we get along so well, so let me make my point.
I will.
But it is important, I think, the interruption is important, I think, because now we know, at least from both of your perspective, that women are not faring worse than men in the economy, that women aren't getting paid less for equal work. I think that's a serious basis, a difference in factual understanding of the world. But given that some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men for doing the same work, there is something called the Fair Pay Act. There was a court ruling that said the statute of limitations, if you're getting paid less than a man, if you're subject, really do face that Republicans don't believe is happening.
It's policy, is the argument.
It's policy, and I love how passionate you are. I wish you were as right about what you're saying as you are passionate about it. I really do.